What the fuck is up, guys? Today, we are going to be breaking down the past couple weeks of Le Mans Ultimate because I'm bored and I haven't really made a video in a while. So there were single races. I did 3 of each. There were single races, which were the 2.4 hours and the 6 hours, which I'm not doing solo dolo. Alright? So this is the first of the 6 hours, which we had a brand new team. So we got in split 14 out of 15. 0 hypercars, obviously 0 LMP2s because of the weird tire glitch that's going around with them. So it was just a full lobby of GT3 cars. But before we get into this one, let's quickly go over the rest of the races that I had. This one is my first 2.4 hour race.
Definitely.
And qualified P3. Race is pretty boring. Everybody was doing 10 lap stints. I was doing 11 lap stints. Lapped the entire field on a technicality because I crossed the finish line before the hypercar crossed the finish line. So lapped the entire field on a technicality. The second one did not go as well. I mean, qualified second, which was pretty good. Felt pretty confident going into this after the result of my first race, but the Merc in P5 was very aggressive off the start. He was passing everybody like before the start finish line, and he ended up doing this. I have no words for this. This is just unlucky. Just like a quarter of the way into the track, and cold tires ran over the curb and jumped right in front of me,
dude?
and my car was dead. Off rip. Off rip. My car is toast.
I'm literally in the middle of the fucking road. I can't do anything.
Well, hate to see it. Third race, I ended up off the start. I think I qualified first. Yes, I did. Qualified first, and off the start, got an erratic driving penalty, which I've never seen before. But apparently, you can't try and warm up your brakes during the outlap. Or, like, I'm not even, like, you know what I mean? It's kind of stupid, in my opinion. I wasn't fully ahead. I was literally behind where I was supposed to be. But I get a 10-second stop and go for that. End up 9 seconds, or I think less by the time we get to the line, behind the leader. Should have won that. Didn't, obviously. I'll still take second any day of the week. I'm not going to complain. It was my fault. I should have read it during the outlap, but obviously I didn't. For the 6-hour races, ended up using a completely different car. For all the 2.4s, I was using the M4. And for the 6 hours, I was using the 296. And for the 6-hour races, I was mainly teamed up with CMS, who is a pretty quick racer from the F1 league that I participate in. We battled for my first championship down to literally the last race. And the second one, we didn't really...
That's the quickest lap I have done.
I don't think he raced. I think he had some stuff going on, but he's really fast in F1. I think it's just a bit of... I know the pace is there for him, but it's more just like getting used to the different driving style that a GT3 is, which is why I think he likes the like mid-engine cars because it more suits what he's used to with the F1. But with this was the quick clip that I just talked over. That was the qualifying for the second race while I was in the middle of the first race. Or towards the end of the first race.
We're gonna win.
I ended up with a 4-minute .1, and then we finished P2. A minute and a half off the leader. Every single race that we did for the 6 hours, we ended up with damage. This is the third 6-hour race.
Oh my god.
And I ended up getting the quickest time I've ever set on Le Mans in this car. And it was still only good enough for third place. This lobby was quick. That Mustang was flying. But
so we're
this
just gonna be
was
off
the
the lead
worst
lap.
result we got out of the 6-hour races.
But whatever.
Not a fun time. Plenty of damage. We also had some driver issues. Not a great performance. So we're just gonna, at least my performance was great. I'll say that much. So we're just gonna jump right into this race then. On my out lap, you know, just trying to get a feel for the car. I did some warm-up laps, but, you know, it's not... The grip is completely different. My tires are still warming up. I think this is my first actual my first hot lap. And really, I'm just trying to set a banker on my first out lap. Still, the tires are, like, kind of cold. As you can see here, take a little bit too much speed into the force curves and completely wreck the car. At this point, I noticed the time,
wait, I might actually.
and I don't know if I'm going to set a lap. I already know I can only set one lap. I'm lowering the fuel, trying to get back out as quick as possible. And we leave.
Well,
I leave the pits with just under like 4 minutes left. So I know I'm going to have to set a banger of an out lap in order to
I don't know.
set a lap. Yeah, I leave the pits with 3:56. Granted, my tire's already warm, so I don't really have to worry about much. So this is the full qualifying lap. Try and cut as much curb on those chicanes as possible. Cross the line with maybe a few tenths left. So I'm just going to break down what I'm doing here. Trying to use as much of that track as possible. I try to avoid that curb on braking because, as you can see, it can unsettle the car. Still here, try and use as much of the track as possible. I could have used more on the right-hander of that chicane. Come down here, fourth gear, kind of let off, let the car settle, brake as soon as you come straight, shift down into third, use as much of that track as possible, try and carry as much momentum through this corner as possible. It's very important. This corner right here can make or break your lap. And I think I ended up with a pretty good lap here. A lot of straights on this track, so the exits are very important. You really just have to do a bit of slow in, fast out, but also try and carry as much momentum into those turns as possible, or else you will lose out. Using all the track I possibly could, almost clipping that barrier. I've noticed that throughout the 6 races that I did, not so much on the 2.4s, but on the 6, I felt pretty comfortable in this car, did a lot of practice in this car. It could really eat those curbs, would not unsettle the car at all. And if you get your, I guess, outside, like say it's a left-hand turn, like this one coming up right here, if you get your right-hand tires, if they touch that curb at all, that's a track limit. So trying to avoid that, really trying to use as much track as possible, set a good lap without invalidating, because I know this is my one shot. Still focus on those exits. A lot of straights. Create as much momentum into those turns as possible. Which, with this car, it was very nose heavy. Like, really, if you just dab the brakes and shift your weight forward and turn the wheel, the car is going to turn. CMS did a great job with the setup. Felt very comfortable. Could really push this car, even on like high fuel. Staying to the right yet again. Minimize the distance you're going on track to try and eke out those few hundredths of lap time. This is one of my favorite turns on the track. Especially with this car, it felt so settled. Could really push fast Indy, like a lot. A lot of people go and split the curb here. I didn't really like to do that. I felt like the car would bottom out on that curb, and it would kind of hinder my turn in. From what the problems are with this car, which is kind of what you needed for the strengths of this car, of a car for this track, is like we were kind of sitting ducks on the straights, but through the Porsche curves, through really any medium to high speed turn, we were doing pretty good. This car turned in amazing and really loved to be on the limit. I felt it was a great setup, even though it's not necessarily the greatest car for this track. We still got good results out of it. And I think just barely got the lap in and was really not pushing that hard because I knew I had to just set a lap. Ended up with a 3:59.3, which is a pretty decent lap for me.
Than that for getting a lap in, so
I would definitely take it.
that's crazy.
I will take that. Oh my god, I don't know how that happened.
I mean, we're
Definitely shocked by how good that lap was. I was really just trying to set any lap. Start of the race here. Like I said,
I'll be here
every single
but I'll mute myself if you say something that I
6-hour race that we did, we ended up with damage right off the start. And this one was no difference. Really, I knew it's a 6-hour race. It's not my first endurance race by any means. It's a long fucking race. There's a lot of stuff that can happen, whether it's other people getting damage or retirements or different strategies over the full 6 hours. So I'm not stressing about positions here at all. My goals are to just get through the first lap and let everybody settle in and let them start getting like laps in. But nobody else had that same thought. 3 wide into turn 1 right now.
Clear left.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's how that works out. I see it coming, and
You're in the middle. Clear right.
Okay.
there was more.
Clear right.
So,
got suspension damage 'cause
as
they
good as you
fucking
want
split
to be
14
about
minutes.
avoiding damage and stuff, there's only so much that you can
Yellow
do.
flag, clear left. Left.
If I could drive the car, I probably would have stayed out, but as you can see, the thing did not want to turn. So,
Don't go
we're
for it.
going into the pits and repairing this. I'm trying to be safe. Let's not get more damage. Let's just slow down, off track, let everybody by, and then we're headed into the pits. That's what's going to happen.
There we go. Now we're good.
We're less than 5 minutes into this race. We're not stressed out. There's no traffic, which is bittersweet, you know. Some of the hypercars, in my opinion, should not be driving hypercar. Either the car's too fast for them, or they do not understand the concept of like multi-class racing and passing where you're supposed to pass and where you're not supposed to pass.
Yellow flag in sector
It's not the best, but it kind of helped us out in this race because we didn't really have to deal with much
1. 3.
worry of the
1.
higher classes trying to pass us in spaces where it really doesn't make any sense. I think it was I can't remember. It's blocking it right now, but I think the pit stop ended up being like 70 seconds or something like that. really just put my head down and keep it going. Coming out in 27th, a minute and a half off the leader.
Sector 1 is now green. Green flag sector 3.
And
Your tyres are
second to
cold.
last out of the running cars right now. So I'm really just like, let's put some laps in. Start to be consistent, and the race will come to us. It's a long race. Nothing to really worry about right now. My first stint, I really didn't start making that many like passes for position. Right here, I don't know if this guy had damage or what, but passed him in the pits, so we're already up one lap in.
All right, Trevor.
And
Come on,
the
stay
gap
focused.
has grown
Exits and exits.
to the
Exits
leader. It
and
was a minute and a
exits.
half, now it's a
26.
minute 45. That guy was flying. I don't know if he was not saving or what. I know a lot of people in this race were doing 10 lap stints, and we were smart enough to realize that the more time you spend out on track and the less time you spend in the pits, even if you're going a few tenths, half a second slower than your normal pace, it's not that big of a deal, because you're going to lose more time in the pits than you would being slower on track if you're saving fuel.
Just retired. Sector 3 is now clear.
Yep. Literally another few laps in, a retirement, another few laps in,
The track temperature
gain another
decrease
position
is now
from somebody
46
pitting.
Celsius. B25.
And that's really how the first like stint or two went for me. There's not very much actual passing on track. More people in the pits, retirements. We're up,
Car exit in the pits.
what, 6 positions right now? Yep, 6. All right, and
Jan has retired. Sector
P20 is right up the road, as he just came out the pits too. I think we ended up catching him pretty shortly into the lap. They were fighting, and that's how that works. You fight, you lose time. Granted, the Mustang is going pretty slow here, so I know I qualified second. I have way faster pace than everybody right now, and my goals are to pass cars as quickly as possible if I run into them on track. So first chance I get, I'm going for it immediately.
Clear left.
There's a pretty wide turn. He gave me the space, he lifted off, and then the Ferrari ahead made that pretty easy
Clear
too.
left.
Outbraking himself, going off track, tasting the gravel. That was really the story of the first stint. Another car going off ahead of me decides to come back on. I don't know what he was exactly doing. It looked like he was turning right onto the racing line, so I was going to left. But then he went back left, so not necessarily the safest rejoin out there. Probably should have just waited till I passed for him to rejoin. Whatever. Another thing, just being consistent, man. Outbraking himself, getting a little squirrely in the Porsche curves, take the opportunity, immediately go up the inside. Not messing around. We need positions right now.
Sector
Another
3
car
is
going
green.
off ahead.
He's pitting from position 9. Expect him to come out a bit behind you.
Pass him as soon as I possibly can. Not messing around here.
I'm not pitting for another 2 laps.
This is where we start to see the pit strategy. This is lap 10 currently.
In the pits, heads up.
So on lap 1, we pit,
14.
and I filled up fuel because why not? So normally I'd be pitting on this lap, but because I filled up fuel on the last lap, or on the first lap, we're now 2 laps ahead of everybody, it seems like. Except for P1. I can't see exactly everybody. A beautiful pass into turn 1 and 2, by the way. That was probably my favorite spot to overtake, right there. Another car. I know you just came out the pits, and you're going to be slower than me because of fuel load. And you're going to be slower than me because you're just slower than me. and I felt very confident into Fast Indy. I was like, we're going up the inside right now. Now, these are where the smart people are pitting, lap 11,
Seconds in that sector, I think.
7th
but
position.
we're going one lap longer than that because of our incident on
Acknowledged. Pit
lap
stop
1.
requested.
Figured might as well fuel the car, so P4 before the pit stop. I don't know where we are net currently, but at this point,
Okay, Trevor, we've just cut the
I'm
track.
feeling pretty good. About an hour or about 45 minutes into it, I've noticed that my pace is pretty good compared to everybody. I had
Just stay close.
my crew chief in my ear telling me that we were the fastest on track. I had CMS in my ear checking delta times on cars ahead,
Great camera angle.
telling me you're flying by everybody.
Oh, where'd we get a .25?
So
That turn,
Is there?
like 2 laps
That
ago.
there? Yeah.
at this point,
Oh, okay.
I'm feeling pretty good.
It's now 26 Celsius.
I know I'm like a few, maybe like half a second to a second quicker than CMS, depending on like the lap and stuff.
Jesus
But
Christ.
I know that if I have this pace and I'm this much quicker than everybody, I know that whenever he will get in the car, that we're not gonna lose out. If anything, we're gonna either hold position or gain positions.
When I did one of the 2.4
So,
hour races,
I did a triple off the start, so at the end of my first stint, we'll see where we end up. I think it was 15th, if I remember correctly. So at the end of the first stint, I gained, what is that? I think we were 27th after we came out the pits the first time. So we gained 12 positions off the start. Off the first stint, whether that's from retirements or just literally passing people on track. I was feeling pretty good at this stage. And it's really just a matter of time until the race starts to be more in our favor. I know that the 10-lap stints were not going to help anybody out ahead of us. And a majority of people were doing it. So we're spending less time in the pits. We're going to make up positions. So yeah, we do come out 15th. I think, unless this Porsche passes us on pit exit, but I don't think he does. He's a little bit too far back. Nope, so 15th. Yet again, same thing. Warm tires can push a little bit more off the start. Warm-ish tires, they definitely cooled off in the pits.
So I think that was like
But
4 positions,
right up
just
into
on fucking-
the next lap or two, 3 laps later, gaining positions, people are pitting. They're on the wrong strategy. I don't know exactly why he would be going in right now. Doesn't make any sense to me, but I'll take it. He's on the completely opposite strat right now.
Is it the fuel?
But at this point, track did start to cool down. It's starting to become night. Gain. This is a lapped car. I don't even know why I have this in here. But yeah, just fighting through traffic already. We're an hour and a half in. Not even. We're an hour and 10 minutes in, and we're fighting through traffic already. Not supposed to defend. Didn't see much of that in this race in particular, but the second and third race, lapped cars were definitely defending. This is probably the best race we've had as far as everything. Passed another few more in the pits. Whether it's damage or what, I'm not 100% sure. Passed another one in the pits. We've got 6 laps to go in the stint, and we're up 4 from the start. At this point, the race is starting to settle in, so
They're
those
definitely hoping.
positions aren't going to
what
come
happens.
as easily as they did in the first stint. We've got a few cars up ahead, about around 20 seconds, And then another 3 laps later is where everybody starts to take their pits. We're 20 laps in right now. Everybody, a majority of people ahead of me, are on the 10-lap stint strategy, which does not work. You're losing too much time being in the pits for too long. Yet again, another one into turn 1 and turn 2. He comes out the pits, heavy fuel load, cold tires, don't know what. I left him plenty of room.
I'm down.
He went straight.
Do one more.
Yeah.
Another few in the pits, or I think just one.
New ones.
Yeah. No. Keep these.
Keep these. Okay.
At this point, CMS and I are discussing strategy. We didn't really have a whole thing going into it, but I did know that the tires from the 2.4-hour races, I knew that the tires could last 3 stints without changing. Coming right up until the last lap of... I know that he has to go in, but at this point, he is causing me too much harm being stuck behind him. I think I do pass him on the exit here. Unless he just goes in. No, I think he just goes in. I don't think I passed him before. But, yeah, really just trying to minimize as much time loss as possible. I know I'm faster than a majority of people on this track, and I cannot be stuck behind them because I'll be losing too much time. So this is where our first lap blunder really shows, because we come in. At this point, we'll probably be top 10 coming out of the pits. This is my final stint. And then after I come out the pits, I'm going to be handing the car over. Or after I come out the pits, do another 11 laps, I'm going to be handing the car over to CMS for the night stint.
I'm just gonna leave it.
Looking back at it, with his like driving style, I also don't know if it was his driving style or what, but he tended to overheat the tires a little bit. Excuse me. I don't know if that was from him. We had some theories. I don't know if it was from his braking style. He seemed to be hitting 100% braking force a lot, which you don't want in these cars. You do not want to trigger ABS. It's like micro locking. You will overheat the tire significantly. So looking back at our races, this was probably the best one, because although he got into the car at night with a cold set of tires that's going to take forever to heat up, his tendency to do that does allow the tires to be a little bit more warm. You know what I mean? So yeah, come out in 10th, right behind P9. These are all for... This is net right now. He just came out the pits a few laps ago. He's at 70% VE. And my goals are to either keep up with, because I have such a higher fuel load than these cars, and I'm on probably at least a stint older tires than they are, or just keep up with them, stay in the draft, and save a little bit more fuel to make our pit stops time a little bit less. What you really have to watch out for in an endurance race like this, or really any race, is the consistency and mistakes. Like, the Mustang lost a position there because of a mistake, and I think he gains it back because I made a mistake. Yet again, mistake. You really got to be more consistent than anything. You don't want to be fast and then losing time on exits from fishtailing the car or outbraking yourself. So I think I lost a little bit here because that Porsche was spinning out in front of me. So he was definitely closer than I would have liked coming into this.
We've gone out of track
Also,
limits. Keep it between the lines.
I don't think I got the best exit here.
Yellow flag.
So I think he takes this position back immediately.
Yeah, he's probably getting me right here.
Ferrari went straight on into the chicane. I don't know if he got damage or what, but
Yeah, there's 4 hours left.
Left
He
side.
he went straight on and stopped on the side of the track. I think he tried turning into me here. I'm not 100% sure what happened. Yeah, you can just see him going over to the right and giving me a little knock. I'm not changing what I'm doing. So if you think you're faster than me, go right ahead. You know, he has a lighter fuel load than me. Mustang is also a dog on the straights. The thing just fucking flies. So I'm not really gonna lose time fighting you. If you want to get by, I'm gonna lift earlier and let you by.
I'm on like.
I know that
And he's probably a brand new driver.
we at some points during all 3 races definitely lost time battling.
Brand new tires.
Like
Yeah, he's literally only fast on the straight.
you're going to lose time fighting a car. Like if they're marginally faster than you or marginally slower than you in like different parts of the track, just sit behind, and they want to be ahead. Like say this Mustang in particular is faster than me on the straights, but as you can see, I catch right up to him in
Car ahead is
the in Indy. Like there's really no point in fighting him because the pressure is going to get to him when somebody is right behind. I can't remember if I make the move here. I think I do. Or maybe he spins out. I'm not 100% sure. But this is probably at a point where I know that, yeah, he just goes really wide. And then I take the inside here. Or maybe not. I can't remember. But he was definitely feeling the pressure. The car was amazing through this section of track. Get a huge exit at the Porsche curves. Gain right up on him. Go down the inside here into the chicanes, I believe.
car right. Still there.
At that point, he's making mistakes almost every single turn. I'm not going to sit behind him. Lost 4 seconds that lap
Sector 1 is clear. Green flag,
from
sector 2.
various different
P7.
factors, whether it be the spun out Porsche or the Ferrari or fighting this guy. 4 seconds we didn't need to lose here, to be completely honest. Probably would have lost less time if I just stuck behind him.
We'll be warned about track limits.
But at this point, through the first sector, I think I gained on him here to where he can't get the draft coming out the last few corners. Because, yet again, he's just making probably not the best moves here. Like, it looked like he was trying to stick his nose up that corner. And then coming out. I really can't remember the corner names, but I just get an amazing exit coming out of this corner. And just like that, he's out of the draft. Coming up on some more lap traffic. I don't really... Why did I put this in here? I really don't know. Not defending, which is good. Thank God, you know what I mean?
Clear left.
Probably shouldn't have gone for that move. It really just kind of compromised my exit coming out of this corner. And that Mustang is still behind.
Don't try and unlock yourself.
Just behind. He's like a second behind, but he definitely has the draft of the Mustang behind me, which is not the best. A few laps later, come up to a whole pack, 6th, 5th, 4th, and 3rd all grouped together. One person is coming into the pits right now. That'd be P5. They're on 4%. They're definitely not making another lap. And then I think another car goes wide here, and I grab that position too. So
Car right.
another not the best exit, or not the best re-entry. That's what you're going to get he came right back on the racing line. Just, this is an instance of where I knew that fighting probably wasn't the best option. This McLaren and I, from what I've noticed just from like these first few laps, is that we had pretty similar pace. So I'm really just trying to stick behind. You know, I'm not trying to force my hand here, trying to get ahead immediately, but I know that I definitely had to stick behind him. Because if I got stuck behind this Lexus here, I'd probably lose out. So he goes for the pass into the chicane here, which gives me a perfect opportunity to get right up on both of them. Not the best part, or not the best part of the track to overtake is in these chicanes. Like, people get very nervous. It's high speed. Not necessarily the best spot, but it allows me to get pretty damn close. They both are compromised on exit. And I've got the draft of the Lexus ahead. I think I go for it into this next part. I'm not 100% sure. But I know I'm sticking with this McLaren until he goes into the pits, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so he's a little early on the lifting, and he's very early into the braking. And my goal here is not to lose time. So I know this McLaren has some good pace. They've been up front all race. And I know I'm not necessarily going to lose a lot of time being stuck behind him. I know I'm going to save fuel, though. So for the next, like, lap or two, I think. I'm not 100% sure. But I know I'm just stuck right in this McLaren's draft, which is good. I'm not losing time being stuck behind him. There's no point in really passing him. It's very similar characteristics for both cars, so we're both fast in the same part of the track. Like, it's not that big of a deal. I definitely carry a little bit more speed into those last chicanes there, but both mid-engine cars, so we both got the rotation that we need to keep these turns pretty high speed. And we're both not the best on straight line speed. So as you can see, I'm not losing any time being behind him. Really just want to keep putting in some good laps. I was pretty consistent around this track. Seemed like most cars I was in front of, I don't know if they got nervous, like, but it seems like they'd be all over the place. Granted, it is night, the tires are cold, the track is cold, it's hard to really push the car. Like, you're struggling for tire temps to even be, like, in the operable conditions. And it definitely shows. You really have to push the car to get the tires warm, and if you're driving too slow because there's no grip, then the difficulty is just going to compound for you. You really kind of have to throw it into the turns to heat up the tires and let the grip come to you and be patient during the night, from what I've noticed in this game. But yeah, just kind of stick with this McLaren for 2-3 laps. Not really losing any time, kind of setting pretty consistent lap times. Similar lap times throughout. Just stuck in the draft, trying to save some fuel, lifting earlier than I normally would. I know he goes in on this lap, so I'm really not stressing about passing him. What I've noticed with the Ferrari, I'm not 100% sure about the McLaren, but when it does get on low fuel, it does get pretty squirrely. So, which also could be his problem here. I'm not 100% sure, but the car actually does, it seems like the opposite compared to most other cars, to where this car feels more secure to the road when it's on high fuel. Like, the balance is amazing. Like, you're not, like, tweaking out, like, getting snap oversteer or, like, into any of these high-speed turns. But when it's on low fuel, you're definitely going to run into that. Like, either entry of Porsche curves or, like, any of the slow-speed turns, your tail might just swing out on you. And because of the nature of these cars, it's not like a rear-wheel drive or a front-engine car to where you'll start to feel it, like the tail will swing out a little bit. It's like it's either there or it's not. Yeah, still just stuck behind him until he goes into the pits, really. This is a lapped car. That is not the same one, I don't think, unless it is. I swear I just saw him go into the pits. But
I don't even care. I'm taking it to fucking Dawson.
Yeah, take it.
I don't think this one is. I can't remember. I really just can't. There was a lot of racing, and it's been a few days, so I really can't remember what is exactly going on.
Would you like? Clear left.
That'll be good.
But I've got
Thank you, brother.
to pit at the end of this lap. I noticed that staying in that draft really does help. I don't know if it was because I had a car directly in front of me, so I was like lifting earlier and being a little bit more cautious
Oh, P1's
on corner entry and the throttle on exits, but I definitely saved the most amount of fuel coming into the pits on this stint than I did on any other stint. Like, most times I was going in with like
God, those drafts really did
0.2,
help with the fuel
0.1
saving. This
laps
is
of
like the
fuel
most I've
left.
ever
Like,
had.
I was barely making it
Box
in
in 5,
to the box. But at this point,
4, 3.
my driving,
Two.
or at least my first stint, is done.
now.
Gonna hand over the car to CMS, who we're going to exit. I think like 7th or 8th,
Oh, I
because
can turn on my
little
camera, so it's
we
up to you.
swap tires.
You should. That's
I
like
don't
a
think the
50
driver
second
swap
stop
takes
or
any
something.
extra time,
Yeah, it's got
but
20.
we're exiting the car
Yeah, 51 seconds.
in P2, which was pretty good for us.
That.
Definitely a lot of gain there as far as pace and
Yeah.
realizing that we could probably win this. Depending on what happens with the car in P1. Up until about this moment right here. Because CMS did become a victim of the cold tires. I don't know exactly how easy it's going to be to see, but he did have a bit of a moment that caused us to go run in the pits. Exit a turn 1, you know. He's feeling pretty good, you know, being cautious, lifting, braking like normal. Take turn 2, 3, exit, you know, he's on the curbs, but he's cautious, you know, cold tires. Car coming in on his right, passes him, let him by, you're on cold tires. High fuel, bit of understeer, and he tries to overcorrect it, it looks like. And
What the fuck?
right then and there is more suspension damage. So we are right back in the pits at the end of his first lap. Repair all the damage, fill up again to 11 laps. It's the same situation that I had on my first lap, essentially. Except his wheel is a little bit less straight than mine was. So yeah, there's really not much that
Be a minute long
we can
stop.
do.
With all that damage.
Still a long race, 3.5 hours
fuck.
left.
I'm shutting the wheelbase off and turning.
So-
Exit. Just got hot.
We're just kind of stuck here. No. It wasn't. He had no force feedback.
Tries again.
That's
on
the
more
problem.
gold
He
pairs.
didn't. I just heard it, so that's why I mentioned it. Which is why I crashed in our spa race, actually. So completely understandable. So we're really kind of just waiting for damage to be repaired and continue our race from there. Although it's halfway done, there's still a long ways to go. From my first stints, we know we can gain positions. I know that CMS has similar pace to me. So there's really no worries about where we're going to finish. We know we're going to finish at the top, just more where. And how long it's going to take until the race starts to come to us as far as our pit strategy and when we're going to stop getting damage. So unfortunately with that, I think we did come out all the way back down in P15 where I started on my first stint. But yeah, he put in a pretty good stint, you know, consistent. That was really the only issue as far as what he was doing. So yeah, blah, 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 blah. CMS race, blah, 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 blah. This video is already in an hour. So I'm not going to go over every single... I'm not going to go over his part because, like, it's a long race, man. And it's a long video. First pit stop, I think... Yeah. In 10th, I think it was. Yeah, in 10th. So he gained 5 positions off the start. That's what's going to happen as the race goes on, is that as more people start to retire and the gaps start to grow, you're not going to gain as many positions with our pit strat. So he does a triple here, and getting up into the top 5.
And he's like, yeah,
And
so
then
this is
I'm taking the car
What,
over.
they just have like grip packs or some shit?
Pretty good stint from him there. You know, definitely made up for everything.
I'm ready.
We definitely do have the opportunity here
Hours left.
to get second. But first at this point is completely out of the question. The guy in P1 is like miles ahead of everybody.
You get a drive through, no big.
Like it's
Looks
not
like we
even
should come
close.
out, like 7th.
Unfortunately,
I'll take
with
anything.
his incident there, I think it was that incident. I'm not 100% sure, but at some point he did get a fat chunk of track limit warnings. So I think I got in the car with like 5.5 out of 6
In a bit.
like track cut warnings. So I had 0.5 to play with for the next 2 hours, which I could probably do, but I know that if we want a chance, I'm gonna have to push, and with that comes the risk of gaining track cut warnings. So I think right now we're pretty good. We're not losing any positions on pit exit. We're gonna be 7th, or we're gonna be 6th coming out. The Ferrari in 7th isn't close enough.
Probably.
Oh, now I have hiccups.
All clear on pit exit. You can push now.
The Ferrari in 7th isn't close enough for it to really matter.
Everything's cold, brother.
And right now, it's really just close that gap. I'm coming out to P5 about a minute ahead. Everybody ahead is about a minute ahead, except for P1, who is long gone at this point. And I know I'm at risk for a for a drive-through. And I'm on cold tires. I think we went about a lap or two before I got the drive-through. Because I knew that with our pit strategy, we were going to lose less time in the pits on our final pit stop. And I knew we were faster than just about everybody on track right now. So I don't think I was that too worried about it. I knew what was going to happen. It was more a matter of when. And coming in on my second lap out, there you go. Just barely touched my right-hand tires to that curb on the inside, and there's a track limit warning, and there is a drive-through. So, looking right now, I think we come out in 8th. I'm not 100% sure. But we just had, I think, too many mistakes as far as we had stuff happen that was outside of our control and stuff that happened that was inside our control, that a majority of them were outside of our control, and there's really not much that we can do about that. The damage off the first lap, nothing I could do about that. Getting damage from CMS having no force feedback, nothing we could really do about that. Getting a bunch of track limits warnings from CMS leaving the track because he had damage, nothing we could really do about that. It's nothing that we can really change, so we are really trying to just do the best with what we have. Come out at the end in 7th, and I'm pushing right away. Now that I know that I'm not really in a position to get another drive-through, I am eating up track limits at all costs. I am taking so much space on every single place that I can. I'm using as much of the track as I possibly can. And I'm not messing around with any driver that's in front of me. I am trying to pass immediately. He didn't want to drive through, so he slowed down on the racing line. Which, you know, what are you going to do? We're back up to 6th. We pass another in the pits. We're in 5th now with the top 5 pretty far ahead. At the end of my first stint, you know, yet again, love passing into this corner. Passing the fucking lap traffic as soon as I can. Now that my tires are warm and my fuel is low, the car is really lighting up right now. At some point, I think it was during the laps, the lap or two before this, but I ended up getting like a 3:59.7. Because the track is still coming up, it's not too hot, and I had fresh tires, which was just beautiful for grip. The car was amazing. But further on in the stint, the track got pretty hot, so you really don't want to overdrive the car, or else your tires will be dead.
Medium grip.
They just have nothing.
We're doing a medium grip quality.
Yet again, really just trying to pass this lap traffic as quickly as possible, because 4th is right up the road at this point. We've gained a whole bunch of time through pit stops and just pure pace to where they're right up the road. And I know at this point that the race equals out. So essentially a stint is 45 minutes with your out lap, race laps with an 11-lap stint, and then your in-lap and your pit stop. Your stint is going to be about 45 minutes. And 6 hours...
Holy fuck, man.
Or 45 minutes divides evenly into 6 hours. So you could really, I think, get away with, like, 8 stints in a race, in this 6-hour race. and it works perfectly. So I knew at this point that a bunch of people ahead were doing 10 lap stints, so it wouldn't work for them. They would have to do a splash and dash at the end. And I know from us
He's still there.
taking, I know from us doing 11 lap stints and from us filling up fuel on both of our damaged, like both of our pit stops for damage, that we would have to fuel less in the end. So we were in a pretty good position for this last pit stop.
Yellow flag sector 3.
Yet again,
We think that
here
zero
comes
fail has gone off. Green flag in
P3
sector
right
3.
ahead. I can't remember where I passed P5. I think in the pits.
I'm so glad I'm pitting right now.
But
The fucking Porsche in front of me is
As-
slow as fuck.
at this point right now, the track is really hot and people are starting to suffer because of it, including this Porsche ahead of me. If you overdrive the car at all, if you lock up, if you trigger ABS, you're screwed for the next lap or two until your tires cool down. It's just not good for race pace or for the rest of your stint,
I'm running
because
with a .85 this
Three,
to see what's up.
Now,
So I think I might be able to.
tires could last 3 stints, probably more if
I
you
just
really
set a
wanted
purple
to.
Sector 2 and a purple
but,
sector 3 on that. on
We
my
did
lap.
do triples and then change tires almost every single time. And the last race we
Maybe I
did,
can get a
I did a
58
quadruple stint,
pace.
but I changed tires on
Dude, I don't know what kind of grip you're finding in that lobby.
at the end of my
Well,
third
the track's
stint.
warming up right now. Give
Um,
it like fucking 5 laps and the track will be too hot.
Coming out,
Mine's
where did
cooling
we
off,
end
but
up?
I got medium grip. This is not going to be good quality.
We definitely had some work to do in the end. So we're coming out P6, I think. Yeah, easily P6. P7 is a minute behind at this point. And this is where you really start to see the pit strategies. Is the last hour, hour and a half.
your exit's clear. Watch the
Yeah, I
white
can
line.
actually set the tires
At
still.
this point, I'm
Yeah.
thinking to myself that nobody ahead is gonna,
Let me start on fresh tires then.
or everybody ahead is going to have to pit at least twice. P5 right here
Me fucking 5th place. I'll take it. Thanks.
comes in for a stop with like 4 laps of fuel left, which kind of insane to me.
Oh, my tires
Not
are
something
nice.
that I would really do. And
Not
then
close enough.
4th comes in
Yeah, and now
again
this thing's
for
spinning. Way
pits.
to fucking go.
I think,
Dude, this lobby's shit.
no, that was a lapped car I just saw came in. But P4 is in the pits, filling up. At this point, I think he can make it to the end. And so can the cars ahead
Nobody can keep their car.
off one stop. But one thing that I do know is that out of all the cars ahead, I am going to have to fill up the less amount of fuel. So my pit stop time is going to be less than
There's a
them.
GT3 off.
So we've got some lap traffic coming up. We've got to get by them as soon as possible and really maximize the less time that we're going to spend at the pits compared to everybody else. So
Please stay below
at this
2
point,
seconds. Lucky with
I'm
hypercar-
not
lucky
messing
with
around.
where
I'm trying to get by everybody as
hypercars are
quickly as I
catching
possibly
me
can. We come in, I think I filled up like 86 or 87%.
for lap 2.
So like a few seconds less in a pit stop than everybody else, which I honestly think is a little bit
Right,
too much.
pitch velocity. Full on to
because,
86%. I think P4 is gonna have to.
I
do a
don't
splash and
think
dash.
that
They're only at 65 right now.
the like fuel, the predicted fuel
might be
is very accurate. I think it's
I'm
a little bit
only
heavy
losing,
than
or I'm only gaining
anything.
5 seconds.
most of the time if I ever follow it,
That's
I'm
not
like
good
a
sign.
lap
Hypercar
ahead,
fourth just spun out in
but
front
it
of
could
us.
be
Oh.
factoring in just in case we cross the line at like a certain
So if that's a
time and
fourth
we
place
do
is
have to do a
capable
second
of-
lap or like another
He's
lap
putting
in
in
the
a
end.
405.8. Jesus Christ, that's fucking slow.
But we fill up for the last time, and this right here is where we are net.
I'm gonna be like probably 20
So we're
seconds back. from
net
P4.
P5 with 30 minutes left in the race, with a huge gap
Might be
to
able to
the
beat
cars
him.
ahead.
We shall see.
A lot of work that we have to do
I don't
in
think I
order
have to
to
save at all.
get on that
Just gonna
podium.
fucking rev this bitch out.
And we just about get it done.
Your brake temperature's
Come
fine, mate.
in,
Your right tyres.
come out. We are with 12 minutes left, like 3 laps left. We are still P5. So, ooh. What I just saw, which I did not see ever until after the race, where I was browsing like Reddit. I think that Lexus that went from 4th to 5th, they did the glitch where they got damage left, and then
Car right.
their teammate, like they forced
I can
a,
tell you, Zayla, I think I've had one clean
they
lap this
forced
whole race.
a, like a disconnect, and their teammate took over the car.
I'm totally in position right
Never
now.
saw that glitch before, but now looking back at it, that's why I cut that out, because
That's
I noticed it.
Took the win.
giving all this shit that happened to us.
Yeah.
Past P3, P2, I think is either has damage or their tires are shot, because we're coming up to the line with 0 seconds left, and we are just gaining time hand over fist on them. If there was another
Oh, I
lap,
gained so much
easily
time, but
would
it's
have
not gonna do anything.
easily would have got second, would have gotten our
1.3
second place back.
away.
But
Damn.
after all of that, we will definitely take third. No questions. It was a tough race. A lot of stuff that went wrong.
0.7.
And,
dude. 0.6.
You really hate to see it.
Well done, Trevor.
Oh
Okay,
my god.
stop
He did a
'Cause
he did
if
a
we did
403.8 on the last lap.
good-
I did a 401 flat.
Towards, or if we just were
One
more,
more lap
Yeah, that's
would have
like,
been fucking.
I don't want to say more consistent, but it's like,
That's crazy.
if the stuff
You're
that
right there.
happened that was outside our control didn't happen, we
That
very easily could have won
44
that
second
race.
Gap is like
The 40-second gap we had to P1 was like one of
the
our
fucking
damage pit
drive-through
stops,
that we
or
had. Or
one
at
of
literally
the,
any
or
instance.
the drive-through. Like,
Yeah.
easily would have won that race.
Okay.
You
That's why I'm just
do
being calm about
what you
how I'm driving
do
here, letting how
with
far
what you
I can
have,
if I can.
and that's what we did.
Like,
We
wherever
tried
it's
our
where I get
best,
to.
and we
seven
gained all
places
those
kept me
positions
in the
back
first
from
year, so
being second of
see
the
here.
last running cars to P3. So it's a valiant effort from us. Our next race, our next endurance races that we're doing, we have plans for the 4 hours of Imola, which is on July 11th and 12th. So we will see what happens there.
I kinda just blocked
We're not
myself
running
really
GT3
fast.
for that. We're going to be running LMP3. If the tire bug for LMP2 wasn't a thing, we would definitely be racing that, but
I drifted
we
wide,
don't
so I
want to
couldn't get
risk
by.
that. So yeah, stay tuned for more.
Why is it taking forever to load?
I'll probably have another car video coming out shortly as well. I'm just waiting for like 1 or 2 more things to get here. And well, just one more thing, and it comes in 2 days. So I'm really just waiting for that, and then I'm gonna give a full tour of everything that
There
I've
we
done.
go.
And yeah, I will see you guys later.
Load it in.